Do we finally have a TriMet board member who's actually willing to fight for better transit service?
Let's play to win rather than playing not to lose. And I think playing to win here means going for a full bat scenario.
There's been a fair amount of chatter in advocacy circles over the years about the fact that the TriMet board doesn't exactly represent riders and the people. The fact that it's appointed by the governor has not sat well with folks, and the fact that there have been a lot of board members historically who don't actually ride transit every day. However, the current crop of board members is beginning to show some promise. When JT Flowers was appointed about a year ago, I was really intrigued given his work on the Albina Vision Project, where his sense of purpose and progress on that bold idea to reestablish a neighborhood for Black Portlanders around the Moda Center and around I-5, or I should say on top of I-5, really led to a lot of progress for that project. I've been waiting for Flowers to flex his muscles, so to speak, on the TriMet board, and I think this issue with what kind of bus lanes to have on the 82nd Avenue Transit project might be just the place when he starts to do so. At Wednesday's board meeting, Flowers made some comments that a lot of people really took notice of. In fact, at another TriMet meeting later in that day, one of the women who testified publicly actually used Flowers' comments verbatim in her testimony to drive home a point. In this video, I'll share JT Flowers' comments at that TriMet board meeting. They came in a conversation about what type of bus lanes should be on the 82nd Avenue Transit project.
I think we get ourselves into trouble when we try to be something that we're not. We are a transit agency at our core. Our core function is to advance the cause of public transit and make sure that people have safe, reliable, and accessible ways to get to and from anywhere they care to get to and from. We also have a responsibility to think about transit in a broader environmental and human context as a tool of development and as a transformer of cities. With an understanding of that core function comes, I think, a necessary understanding of the types of positions that we need to be more comfortable asserting on issues like this. I think that it is without a doubt that the vast majority of folks who inhabit my district, who inhabit Director Frisbee's district, have been very clear in asserting that they would like to see 82nd Avenue, which I remind folks used to be a highway and still effectively functions as a highway, transforming that corridor into a neighborhood corridor again. This project is core to that. These bat lanes are core to that. And we as an agency, I'd like to see us get more comfortable standing in that rather than constantly trying to equivocate and balance things out.
After asking TriMet staff to clearly explain to him who's going to have ultimate decision-making power on this topic of the bus lanes, Flowers then put another important question directly to TriMet General Manager Sam DeSue.
Will we as an agency have an opportunity to assert a perspective in the context of that decision-making conversation?
So we signed off on the local preferred alternative back in March, given a responsibility to all of the organizations. So no.
So you have DeSue telling his own board that essentially they can't weigh in anymore because they've already adopted the LPA, the locally preferred alternative, which is part of a requirement in the National Environmental Protection Act, NEPA, which is part of how they qualify for federal funding. But the LPA is really just a framework, a concept for a design. It's only after the LPA that TriMet and planners actually go into the real design process to hammer out the details, like where all the bus stops should go, and in this case specifically, what type of lanes should be where. So here's how Flowers responded after being told by TriMet General Manager Sam DeSue that the board wouldn't have the ability to weigh in on the bus lane decision.
We have hundreds of thousands of people who rely on our system on a day-to-day basis, who believe in the future of this region, who believe in transit as a key catalyst in delivering that future. And I think very frequently, we miss opportunities to show up locked arm in arm with those folks. And this feels like such a no-brainer from the perspective of a transit authority. I'd love to see us step into that space and be willing to say, here's the scenario we'd like to see materialized. Let's play to win rather than playing not to lose. And I think playing to win here means going for a full bat scenario rather than the reduced scenario that was proposed in that memo that got leaked. So just wanted to state that for the record, but appreciate you folks taking the time to answer my questions.
So there you have it. Sounds to me like maybe we finally have a real transit advocate on the TriMet Board of Directors. I know that idea seems like a no-brainer, but that hasn't always been the case. One last thing, make sure to subscribe to this video so you don't miss future ones, and please consider signing up to be a paid subscriber of BikePortland. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the streets.